So first, our customers are leveraging Salesforce communities more and more every year. But they haven't really been able to easily configure those pages to accept payments from their customers. So like if they wanted to take payments in their communities, they had to commit expensive and time-consuming developer effort to achieve that. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this. Our Take Payments feature is a Lightning Web component that can be drag and drop configured onto any communities page and will facilitate the ability to take payments via card or bank account. And like Chargent Anywhere, which you might be familiar with, this is a component that comes with the option to automatically map fields from the object on which you're configuring it, as well as billing info like name and address from that object as well. So here's an example of what the take payment component looks like in a community. This has been configured on like a generic invoice record. And in case you missed it, it's that piece right there. It is intentionally compact because we wanted this to be very modular to fit into basically any use case. I wouldn't try to squeeze it into a footer, but for the most part it fits most sections of community pages. So what does this type of functionality mean? Well, if you run a customer service call center, for instance, your call volume just got lower. If your customer service team is taking payments over the phone or through email, and that's like a major part of what they spend their day on, then you just lowered your staffing overhead too. Or you freed them up to focus on other tasks. In other words, you're saving time and money to get real marketing-y about it. So, this problem was frustrating enough for our customers. So we focused on making this as straightforward as possible. It's Chargent payment functionality with any of our long list of gateway integrations. It's configured in minutes. If you can use a keyboard and mouse, you can configure this. There's no coding involved. And it'll work in any object in your community. It fits just about any page layout that I mentioned, or as I mentioned. And it's coming soon in flows. A feature coming or a version coming very soon will include flow functionality. This is available by the end of this year for Platform and Enterprise Edition customers. So zero footprint tokenization. We learned that some of our high volume customers were spending tens of thousands of dollars per year on additional Salesforce data storage. They were processing millions of transactions each month, which resulted in heavy record creation volume and thus those high data storage costs. Salesforce storage costs can add up actually very quickly. That tens of thousands of dollars per year figure, that's not static. This was additional cost year over year, which is pretty scary. So here's a quick breakdown if you want to have an idea of how quickly this adds up. Most Salesforce editions come with 10 gigs of data storage. There are slight adjustments depending on user count and other factors, but for the most part, you're looking at about 10 gigs. Most records consume 2 kilobytes, and there are exceptions to this as well. For instance, person account records, they consume 4, campaigns consume 8, emails can run much higher. It depends on how you configure the email. And additional storage can be purchased from Salesforce at $125 per 500 megabytes per month. So when I look at these numbers, I think another way to interpret this is that data is money, so don't waste it. Let's say, as an example, let's say the configuration of an org is very lean, resulting in the lowest possible records lowest possible records created per transaction. So if we're imagining a very lean org like this, it might look like something like, let's say they're doing 1 million transactions per month. That's 2,000 megabytes of extra data storage needed every month. And at $1 or $125 for 500 megabytes each month, you're looking at $505 extra every month, or $6,000 added every year. And again, not static. If your admin isn't offloading that historical payment data and all those records are just living in your org, you're paying $6,000 more than you did last year every single year. And another thing to keep into consideration is that this example is for 1 million transactions per month. Our customers are processing millions of transactions, plural. So again, this adds up very, very quickly. So our principal architect Eric Alexander, was inspired by the headless software initiatives like headless Java or headless Linux. If you guys are coders or you just like playing with obscure operating systems, you might be familiar with these. And he started working on a way to enable Chargent customers to process payments in a similar low footprint manner as those headless philosophies to reduce the data weight of our transactions. And the result is our new tokenization feature that allows you to quickly tokenize payment data and keep the amount of data stored in Salesforce to a minimum. This is just like, in case you haven't noticed the trend, this is configurable anywhere in your org. And that's the result. Tokenize payment data without creating all these extra records. The configuration is very easy, saves you money, obviously. So it's this is going to help you minimize data costs. It's going to allow you to tokenize your customers' payments, with as little data used up as possible. And it's also, ideally, it's something that puts a smile on your accountants' faces. And in case you're wondering, this is what a smiling accountant looks like. I know it's a rare sight, but also my apologies if there are accountants in this room. I didn't mean to expose your crankiness, but you are who you are. And while we're looking at cute photos, we love the philosophy behind these headless software ideas, but we thought that the word headless conjured up some strange imagery, so we went with zero footprint tokenization. So if you've got high volume payments volume and you're hitting your Salesforce data storage costs, or data storage limits, please reach out to us. This is available very soon. Actually, it's available today. We have a customer who has this deployed today. If you're an enterprise edition or above, you have access to this feature. Give us a call and talk to you about it. Okay, so speaking of saving you money, a good way of saving money is by collecting the money that you're owed in the first place, right? That's the whole goods and services exchanged for money concept. So with this new feature, automated collections, we can help you do just that. It will remove the need of manual intervention by providing a customizable and automated retry process for failed payments. So this process kicks in when a payment fails. It will reattempt the collection on a scheduled basis. First, what happens typically is an automated collections, it's triggered because a payment failed. Automated collections record is created, and the automated collections stages records are created. Then emails are scheduled to be sent to customers, and those emails will include a payment request link. So this is letting the customer know, hey, your payment failed, this was the amount due, and here's a link that you can click through and be taken to a secure site where you can enter your payment details in, update your card, say the expiration date changed or what have you, and get that payment going again. And finally, once a payment succeeds against that Chargent order, regardless of whether it was because that customer clicked that link or the retry logic in automated collections tried the charge again automatically and received the payment, or if somebody in your customer service department got a phone call and manually put their payment through against that same order, once that's done, the automated collections process is halted. Those unused stages, those automated collection stages, those are automatically deleted. And then to further save you, room in your org, just like we were talking about data storage a minute ago, the automated collections object and the used stage objects will auto-delete based on what you've configured in settings. So you can configure this to auto-delete in 24 hours after the whole process completes, or maybe you're like me and you like to look at reporting and you want to gather months and months of this kind of data before anything auto-deletes, so you can leverage that reporting and see how well automated collections is working for you. So again, the retry logic, the dates, the emails, these are all chosen by you or your admin during configuration. Again, if you're not seeing the pattern, this literally takes minutes to activate and configure. And once done, this is a set and forget collections process. This is available as an a la carte addition to sites and above in 6.05, which is end of December, something like that, right? So coming very soon. So in the beginning of this presentation, I mentioned that you, our customers, inspired 6.0's new features and updates and fixes, but CPQ Billing, this product is no different from that. That remains true. However, it wasn't just you that inspired this or was asking for this. Salesforce.com actually worked with us to build this feature as well. We've partnered with them to bring this very exciting feature to you. At a glance, though, Salesforce CPQ Billing can kind of appear to have some overlapping functionality. So we put together this quick chart to illustrate how we fit together. We know that CPQ and Billing can support things like guided selling or the product configurator, pricing, and so on, and that's their focus. And both CPQ Billing and Chargent feature some payment automation functionality. That's like our one point of overlap for the most part. But Salesforce didn't work with us in hopes that we'd match their functionality, obviously. Our role is to fill in some gaps. We add subscription payments, retail payments, a point of sale integration to their already very rich suite of features in CPQ Billing. So, and this is the most important, exciting part for me. We also enrich CPQ Billing by connecting it with our 30+ billing gateways. They offer a few gateways, sort of to get you started, but if you're like most of our customers, you're very specific about which gateway you use. So the whole point of, or a major point of our partnering with them is to plug in our 30+ gateway integrations into the Salesforce EPQ Billing. And that's our wheelhouse, keeping up with constantly evolving payment gateway space and providing a secure and reliable way to leverage those gateways. That's what we focus on. So you're going to learn a lot more about CPQ Billing Gateway Connector in Micaiah's demo later. I'm very excited for you to see just how seamless the connection is when he demonstrates that. So the next piece is our Package Installation Manager. We've talked a little bit about it today, but a lot of you are new, who weren't here for the previous session, so I'll talk a little bit about it. We call it the PIM, the Package Installation Manager. This is the best way to install or upgrade your installation of our app and features. This tool scans your org to determine which versions of our packages you're already running and which ones should be installed or upgraded. And a big part of remaining PCI compliant is making sure that you have the most secure and up-to-date version of our packages. And the PIM does that for you. You'll learn more about this in our roadmap presentation, but it's another thing that we're pretty proud of this year. So Chargent Anywhere, as discussed before, we've updated and reworked our Chargent Anywhere component. The UI is more responsive and slicker, requiring fewer clicks for one-time and recurring payments. This can now be used to record cash and check payments as well, and you can send payment requests from it. So if you haven't already used Chargent Anywhere in general, this component can be configured anywhere in your org, and payment enables any object that your team is already working in every day. So NMI, we developed a native NMI integration to leverage all of their options and their API functionality. We supported them before, but it was through emulation, and we previously didn't support tokenization. So this was our most requested gateway upgrade. So, tokenization, every transaction type you can imagine, charge, authorizations, refunds, all that is supported natively with NMI now. Well, apparently I listed these things before I showed you the slide, but there they are. So non-emulated NMI is now added to our 30+ gateway integrations, which looks something like this now. Again, this is kind of our bread and butter, right? While we're talking about gateways, here is a quick look at other updates and improvements that we've made to gateways. Authorize.net gets its own slide because it's one of the most used gateways, and we made a really good list of changes for it. We resolved an issue where the Authorize.net gateway would return an error when special characters were used. We added error data for tokenization failures. We've updated the response message logic so that it facilitates Auth.net's AFD, their Advanced Fraud Detection suite. We've enhanced Authorize.net authentication within our gateway setup wizard. And we've updated the gateway to allow token updates via their SIM tool. And for other gateways, Link to Pay, we added authorize, refund, partial refund, and void functionality. We added greater detail to their gateway responses by mapping additional data fields for each transaction completed. And then for Braintree, we updated country mapping to facilitate proper ISO code. Another big thing that we did with this recent release is Lightning layout optimizations. We've reworked our object layouts to display relevant fields and statuses, providing more information before having to scroll. Sometimes it's referred to as above the fold. We've added hover details and highlight panels to our objects to further enhance relevant data visibility. And this makes popping into a record and finding needed info a lot quicker, often requiring that you just hover your mouse pointer over lookup field for a Chargent object. It'll pull up a lot of that relevant data right there. So please note, though, that if you're an existing Chargent customer and you upgrade to 6.0, this new optimized layout is not going to automatically show up. We don't want to disrupt any customization that you've done, so if you choose to use it, you want to set that up in your org as the org or the app default for that page layout, and the new ones are the ones that end in V3. If anybody's getting eager to do this, you should be eager to do this. It's better. When we first launched this app 11 years ago, there was no such thing as security review in Salesforce. However, every gateway integration that we build requires that we pass very, very strict compliance processes anyway. So we were that focused on security long before security review came into play. But security review is here now, and in our new version we have launched, there's been a lot of evolution around the thinking around test methods. So we've released this version using test methods that we have vetted at every stage of the development. This further reduces the chances of a change or an update at the gateway level or in gateway technology, causing a disruption for our customers. So we're very proud to announce that we have passed Salesforce.com's stringent security review process.
Hey, thank you for watching our video. And while you're here, please subscribe to our channel. Click that notification bell for immediate updates. And if you'd like to talk payments, please get in touch. We're always here to help.